Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. All right. This is Ari Al-Zabat out of the GMS Dallas camp. Okay. And I'm going to entitle this lesson here, The Chosen People Will Be Restored. All right. And that's you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true Hebrew Israelites that the kingdom of the gospel is being preached to, okay? Although the other nations, hearing their judgment, what's important to us, the prophets are the elect, okay? So, we're just going to get right into it. We're going to start out with Isaiah 14, okay, in verse 1. All right, let's get Isaiah 14 and 1. Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1, and it reads, "For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, okay, and will yet choose Israel." All right, I want to stop right there because, those are his chosen people. All right, and we're gonna get that. So matter of fact, let's go ahead and get it now. Let me get Isaiah. This is Isaiah 44 and 1, and it reads, "Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen." Okay, so the Israelites, are Yahweh, thy power, chosen people. Okay, you see? So we're going to read that again. Isaiah 14 and 1. "For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land." Okay, and the strangers, which are the Israelite foreigners, which would be today you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we weren't born in the circumcision, meaning under the customs. Okay, we were walking in darkness, after these different philosophies and idols of these other nations. Okay, and we're gonna get that too. You see, and it reads, "And set them in their own land." Why? Because we was exiled, okay, out of our land. And we're gonna get to that as well too. That's why, it's titled "The Chosen People Will Be Restored." All right. And it reads, "And the strangers shall be joined with them, which are the Israelite foreigners, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Okay. So this is going into us, being restored back to our land, okay? And right now, we're scattered. That's what makes us Israelite foreigners, you see? So this is the predestined and the adoption by Yahweh Shai for us to come back, okay? You see? So let's get, matter of fact, let's get Second Esdras real quick, about us being the chosen, okay? I didn't want to leave that out. This is Second Esdras, the 16th chapter, and verse 73, and it reads, "Then shall they be known." Well, matter of fact, I'm going to go up one. Really, you can go up more and more. This is going into, us being like pilgrims in the days of Jacob's trouble before Yahweh shall return. But, just to emphasize who Jacob is, okay? The Israelites, you see? I'm gonna just start from verse 72. And it reads, "For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." And matter of fact, this is November the 1st, what they doing? Cutting off the EBT SNAP, Section 8, all of that, okay? So the government, is shutting down, and because of that, these people are going to be getting kicked out of their homes. This is prophecy, you see? In verse 73, it reads, Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Okay. Although, this is going into the prophets right here, because these afflictions that's taking place here in Jacob's trouble, the prophets are going to be going through that. But, we're going to stay faithful, Lord willing, we those men and women, okay, until the end. You see, that's why it says, then shall they be known who are my chosen. And who is his chosen? The Israelites. We just read it in Isaiah 44:1. Okay. And they shall be tried as gold in the fire. And that's the elect. That's what that's going into. Okay. So Isaiah 14:1 again, I'm going to read it one more time. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, the Israelites, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, because we was exiled. And that's what I want to get into. And let's get precept to that. All right. Let's get Joel, the 3rd chapter. We're going to start from verse 2, and it reads, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat. Okay. That's the Heavenly Father's judgment. Okay. And which is located in the Persian Gulf, you see. And it reads, and will plead with them there for my people. Okay. That's judgment. He's going to judge the other nations. All right. And who is his people, which is his chosen, the Israelites, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. All right. So we was exiled out of the land and parted my land. And that's what we're going to get into. All right. So let's go to, let's get Deuteronomy real quick. Deuteronomy 28:64. Okay. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And it reads, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people. These are the Israelites, because these are the curses from verse 15 on down if we didn't keep the commandments. All right. So we didn't. And verses 1 through 14 is what's going to take place if once we back in the second covenant. And that's if we had kept the commandments, but that didn't happen. All right. So verse 64 again, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people. Okay. From one end of the earth even unto the other, meaning that we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. That's what makes us Israelite foreigners. All right. Because we've been exiled out of that land. Okay. And there thou shalt serve other gods. So right now, if you serving Jesus Christ, you are serving an idol. Okay. That's another God. Because that was the first thing you was going to do when you were scattered. If you're not in your holy land right now and serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, then you've been serving idols, okay? Listening to different philosophies, Christianity. Don't matter what denomination you in, all right? You see? You're serving another God. His name is Yahweh, our Father. He is. Yah means he. Hawa means exist, is. He is. He exists. And his son name is Yahweh Shai. He, Yahweh Shai, that means a deliverer or salvation. He saves. Okay. So we were serving other gods before we came into this truth. That's what walking in darkness means. Okay. We walking in the ways of the other worlds, the different philosophies, ideologies, okay? Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. Who is that? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are our fathers. They don't know no goddamn Jesus Christ. You see? Even wood and stone, okay? So gods that was made out of wood and stone. So when you see these different idols, they're made out of these two different materials. Okay. Let's get Matthew So you can understand, we was exiled out of our land. And these are Yahweh Shem Yahushai's chosen people. Okay. So let's get Matthew, the 23rd chapter. Okay. And it's going to go into it even more. This is Matthew chapter 23, and we're going to start from verse 37. And it reads, O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets. And it's talking about the nation of Israel, okay? And stonest them which are sent unto thee. See? And that's how Yahweh Shem Yahushua speak to his people, is through the prophets. All right? How often would I have gathered thy children together? So that's going to take place, the gathering. All right? Why? Because we've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Let's read that part again. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Okay? So this is going to take place for the chosen, the elect, that's scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay? And mainly and mostly in Babylon the Great, which is America, all right? You see? Let's get Matthew, the 24th chapter, all right? And we're going to start from verse 30, okay? And it's going to go into it. And then, this is Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, okay? And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, coming in the clouds. That's on the chariots, okay? You see, with the angels, ready to deliver his people, his chosen people. So we're going to read that again. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. That's with the angels, man. Okay, and we can get that in Revelation, the first chapter. Okay, this is Revelation 1 and let me see. I know it's in okay, this is Revelation 1 and 7, and it reads, Behold, he cometh with the clouds. Behold, he cometh with clouds, meaning that on the chariots, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. Okay, so when Yahweh shall return, every eye shall see him. Okay, he's going to be on the clouds. Okay, all right. So that's what we just read in Matthew 24 and 30. Okay, and that's part of the gathering. You see. All right, we're going to read it one more time. This is Matthew chapter 24. I'm going to start from verse 30, and it reads again. Okay. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, that's Yahushua, and then shall all of the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay? And let's get into, so that's going to be the gathering of the Israelites. Okay? So let's get Amos, the 9th chapter. All right? Because this is part of the restoration. All right? This is the reason why the elect is being gathered. All right. And this is why this truth, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going forth throughout the four corners of the earth, because the prophets have to preach the downfall of this kingdom before, the righteous rulership, the throne of David is here. OK, start with Yahweh Shai taking down these devils and these other nations. OK, these Edomites. All right. Mainly and mostly. OK, this is Amos, the 9th chapter. We're going to start from verse 11, and it reads, In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, rebuild it, and I will build it as in the days of old. Okay. So right now, I'm going to continue to read on verse 12, and it reads that they may possess the remnant of Edom, because, you know, they're going to go into captivity, and of all the heathens, okay, which are called by my name, said Yahweh, that doeth this. Okay. So this is the restoration of Israel, you know, that's taking place. Okay. And we're going to end it off in Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. All right. We're going to start from verse 5, because we're going to hit a point, then we're going to skip down. Okay. This is Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, verse 5, and it reads, therefore, thus saith Yahweh thy power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen. Okay. Why is he speaking against the residue of the heathen? Because according to Psalms 83, in that account, you know, they trying to bring us in remembrance no more, meaning they get rid of the Israelites. Because as long as we, you know, in a dead mind state, okay, they get to continue to rule. All right. But, you know, their time of rulership is up. All right. Jacob is about to rule. And that's what Yahushua is coming to do. Because all these other nations, they have military might. All right. We don't have no military might. That's why no one can defend for us when they set rules and regulations against even what's happening right now. How you going to be feeding some people, hoarding all the food up, and then just going to cut the people out from eating? That's evil and wicked, man. Okay? Only a wicked ruler would do some shit like that. Okay? And that's why this devil got to go. You see? And we'll read it again. 36. This is Ezekiel 36 and 5. And it reads, therefore thus said Yahweh thy power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which are the Edomites, which have appointed my land, you see, because we were exiled out of it. You can get that account in Luke, the 21st chapter. Okay, matter of fact, let's go ahead and get that. We come back to Ezekiel 36 and 5, but let's get that in Luke, the 21st chapter. I think it's Luke 21. Okay, 21 and 24, if I'm not mistaken. All right, yep. Here it is. This is Luke chapter 21 and verse 24, and it reads, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, which are the Israelites, Jerusalem, and shall be led captive away. And this is talking about the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the so-called Negroes, okay? Because the northern kingdom was already over here in the Americas, all right? So we were led into captivity in slavery. That's the transatlantic slave trade that this is going into. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, meaning that our land is going to be taken by the Gentiles, which are the Edomites and these other heathen nations like the Palestinians and some of the Ishmaelites. Okay, so they over there, you know, in the land of the Holy Land. So until the times of the Gentile be fulfilled, meaning that they're in, okay, until their end of rulership when Yahweh shall return. All right. So that's what that's going into Ezekiel the 36th chapter. All right. So we're going to go back to Ezekiel 36. Okay. This is Ezekiel 36th chapter. We're going to start from verse 5 again. And it reads, therefore thus said Yahweh thy power, in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, because we scattered throughout the four corners of the earth in captivity under all of these heathens. And this is why you're following after these different idols. Okay. But those who have woken up to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you have the truth now. So now you can repent and come back to your power, man. All right. And listen to the prophets. All right. And it reads, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, which is their mind, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey, okay, for themselves. All right. So now let's skip down to verse 21. All right. This is Ezekiel 36 and 21, and it reads, "But I had pity for my holy name, so because of his holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whether they went," verse 22, and this is the house of Israel, okay? So among the heathen, profile, how did we do that? By going off, man, serving these other gods, okay? That's what that's going into. And it says whether they went, meaning that wherever you are throughout the four corners of the earth, you serving a different God, unless you've been quickened to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, verse 22, and it reads, "Therefore say unto the house of Israel," you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, what is it that he want to say? "Thus said Yahweh thy power, I do not this for your sake, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake." So he doing it for his name. I'm doing this for me, okay? "Which you have profaned among the heathen, whether you went." Verse 23, and it reads, "And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen," okay? Because we was fornicating. That's what fornication is, all right? Serving, serving other idols, man. Verse 23, and it reads again, "And I will sanctify my great name." This is Yahweh speaking, okay? "Which was profaned among the heathen, which you have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, said Yahweh thy power, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes." Okay? So in us, that's in the second covenant, okay? When them chariots come and deliver the elect. See, our salvation is going to be an amazement to them. We get that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Let's go ahead and grab it. Didn't want this to be that long, but it's the spirit. Okay. Let's start from verse 1. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1, and it reads, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors." Verse 2, "When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation." Okay? You see that? So far beyond all that they look for. Okay? So when we get delivered, these heathens and the wicked 2/3, our salvation is going to be strange to them. Okay? All right? Verse 24, and it reads, "For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and I will bring you into your own land." So this hasn't happened yet. All right, this is a future prophecy. So who are those people over there in the Holy Land? Okay, they're imposters. They're the Gentiles. Okay, so you are the true Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Get that through your head, man. Quit goddamn loving this devil, man. The fucking Edomites, okay? They're your enemies. Verse 25, "Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness," because we will be in the new covenant, all right? Lord willing, we those men and women in the new bodies, okay? He's going to put the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. "And from all your idols will I cleanse you." And last verse, and it reads, "A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you." Okay? "And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh," meaning your mind. Okay? "And I will give you a mind of flesh." Okay? You see that? So we're going to be, in the right spirit. All right. And that's what immortality is all about, what the new covenant is all about. And it's only for the Israelites. OK, the chosen people. That's why we started out with Isaiah 14 and 1. All right. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rahah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. Shalom.